morning. All right, I'm Vila here with Andrea, and we are talking about the method of the Dance of the Radiant Cross. So, Andrea, you've been working with this method for what, like 8 months now?
Yes, right in the beginning of 2020, like February or March.
Yeah.
Well, I was really fortunate to have been brought in to the beta group for testing inner radiance, like right during quarantine, and with a small group of people. And I think it super helped all of us, actually. My experience with inner radiance work is it is a method for navigating one's inner landscape. It is a series of, psychic, emotional steps that you take kind of in your heart, and each step kind of moves your mind and your heart along um, until you get closer and closer and closer to your soul and like your heart of hearts. And um, from there, you can like relax and open and welcome in your higher self. And so it feels like a meeting of the selves. It feels like helping my negative ego relax and release control and defer to my higher self, which always has a better idea for how to handle things. um, and it allows me to receive and collect information about how to handle those things from my highest being. And like, it's always stuff that I'm like, whoa, I didn't think of that. It's like, or did I? But it's stuff that I wouldn't have even considered or thought of as possible or option, um, until getting clear first. Um, so I found it to be the things I like about it is it's so quick. I've done a lot of personal development work, and I've done a lot of psychic work and emotion work, and it's very quick. It's like, and I'm still working on like memorizing it for myself. I also love that it helps me understand, because I'm a healer and I do healing work with others. And if they start to kind of go into something, um, I can kind of identify where at based on the checkpoints from inner radiance.
Mm.
And I'm like, oh, they really need to get in touch with their heart of hearts. Like, what do they want? Like, what do you want? Often your negative ego will just throw a tantrum because it doesn't know what you want. And what you think you want is often not what you actually want.
Right?
So it's about getting to like, what does your soul actually want? And then once you know what you want, because sometimes we hide from ourselves what we want because we think we can't have it. It's like
No,
amazing how
that-
complicated we make things.
it,
But
and what I love about what you're saying is, you're talking about, you're describing that part of that spin, right? So it's like between the negative ego and then, kind of where we get caught in the mind and the lower self, and we just sort of spin, and then the emotions come in, and it just creates this giant kind of whirlwind mess. And it's like part of what's happening with the dance of the radiant cross is it gives a structure, that cross structure, that vertical and that horizontal, to like allow for movement through that storm in a way that's strong and graceful and grounded. You didn't quite say that, but
I
that was
think that one of my other favorite, yeah, yeah, no, and graceful thing too. Like, I know that sometimes it's so hard to be an emotional person because you're afraid you're gonna lose like a measure of your grace, but really it's like, mm, you don't know if it's really you pulling the shots, because you don't feel that when it's your higher self pulling the shots. Um, One of my other favorite things about inner radiance is that my negative ego gets wrapped up in other people and in the world, and in it's very easy to like entangle it, and my mind will just like run with stuff, and my higher self doesn't do that. When I'm able to like relax, calm down, connect with the heart, and the heart is like the channel, that leads to that can open the gateway for the higher self to come in, really. um the higher self is never concerned or bothered by what's happening in the world, and that's why it was like so massively supportive during quarantine. I was like, the world's ending. And my higher self was like, that's okay. And yes it is, and no it's not, and what's present, what's helpful, what's you right now, and the higher self knows what is important and what's not important.
Yeah. Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
and so it feels just like so good and so supportive, because it can take you out of the context of what's going on around you and
Totally.
help you to like make choices
And what I love about
from a place that isn't contingent on anyone else or anything that isn't important.
yeah, and what I love about what you're saying right there is that it's like it helps you really be in the moment, and like, and in that
Mhm.
moment, regardless of what's going on out there, regardless of what other people are trying to do or get or be, or want from you, in that moment, you have that vertical alignment, that vertical connection to higher self, like you were talking about. And there's like an opportunity for quantum movement in that moment. You can just learn something fantastic. You can manifest something amazing. You can, like have this whole alchemical awakening when you're in that moment fully.
Quantum is a good word. Yeah. Because you can do inner radiance when there's nothing wrong, too. Like, you don't have to be upset to do inner radiance work. Like, it's like, I think I'll hang out and open my heart and let my higher self come in and give me a download. And your higher self will just be like, hey, I have a great idea. And you'd be like, yeah, that is a good idea. That sounds like exactly what my true self would do right now, which is only the best feeling ever.
So if you were going to describe like
So
what is it
that's what
about?
I like.
Thank you. And what if you were to say like what really makes it different? I mean, you've kind of touched upon what makes, the Dance of the Radiant Cross method different from other systems that are out there or other styles. How else would you say it? Or
Mhm. Well, quantum is a very good word for it. I liked when you said that earlier. I think other styles of work are also good. But I'm enjoying inner radiance because it's deceptively simple, and maybe not deceptively, but like it's simple, but the deeper you go into it, the more places can take you.
ooh, I love that.
Yeah, like it's not just about stabilizing, although it can do that. It can also be about like launching into your total greatness, and your highest light. The more you bring your highest self into your physical body and the more frequently you do it, pretty soon you just are the higher self. um I'm trying to think if there's more that I can say. um
One
when
thing
I first started learning it, it really helped. Hmm?
oh, go ahead.
What?
Go ahead.
Oh, first started learning it, it really helped me to have a partner and do it with a partner, but I don't have to do it with a partner, I can do it alone. Um, I think some of the other thing that like helps that I like about it is I may have things that come where I work on it, you know, for 2 or 3 times, but it's not like it keeps coming back. Like I feel like I'm making actual like changes and progress. Um, and it doesn't just make me feel better emotionally. By the end of a full round of inner radiance, I have like action steps
Yeah.
um, for like this is how I behave at work, you know, like these are the things that I'm going to do to bring my, you know, family into alignment with the ways that I want to live. Like that's kind of like where I'm at right now. It's like, how can I bring myself into alignment with the family I'm creating and um, co-creating?
That's
Yeah.
beautiful. I love that. I think one of the, one of the other things that I have enjoyed so much about it, and I'm curious about your experience, is, you know, it's taught me a lot about compassion and having compassion for myself, and kind of where I'm good at that and where I'm not good at that. Where I'm like, okay, yeah, I can be compassionate with myself in these spots, but then these places, like, no, they don't get, they don't get any leeway. They don't get any mercy. I'm relentless. And, really kind of opening up this sort of larger space within the self of like, actually, all of these parts and pieces, all of these parts of me are equally worthy of having a compassionate, loving connection point.
Mhm. Agreed. I think I said recently to someone, one of the reasons that, you know, your ego will lead you to do crazy things is it just loves you so darn much, but it doesn't have the whole picture.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it loves you a lot. It'll do crazy things to protect you, to save your life. um, your negative ego loves you desperately, um, but it doesn't have the whole picture. And so it's like, you know, driving with one eye, one foot, one arm. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, very cool. Well, we have a dance open coming up very soon, which is going to be our live Zoom um, official handing and demonstrating of the Dance of the Radiant Cross method. So, and it's really open to anyone. It's open to anyone who would like to learn a method for greater self awareness, for greater self presence. And from there, you have lots of options for where to go with it. You can do that kind of self study program that Andrea was describing, where you can kind of work on it for yourself with yourself. You can be part of a focus group um, of other people that are wanting to engage the method and support one another in it. And there's also opportunities for more direct one-on-one facilitation engagement if that is what you feel called to. So, anything else you want to say about people coming in and participating in any of that, Andrea?
I would say anybody that does healing work with others will massively benefit from do because it kind of does two things. It helps you, I mean, it helps you be more psychic, like with yourself, but also as you begin to learn to help, you know, if you do a focus group, you begin to be able to like watch someone travel through their psychic landscape.
Mm.
So I super recommend it for anybody that does healing work with others, um, just because it helps you support someone else.
Mm.
Not to mention, super helps you supporting yourself. And if you're a healer, you have to be doing healing work on yourself, like regularly. And so it's great for that too, because you don't need a whole lot of, time or space or, anything to do it. Once you really like learn that method, it becomes a tool that you can use on yourself anytime.
Awesome.
So I'll be there.
Woo. All right. Well, it's been wonderful talking with you. Thank you so much, Andrea. And we will see you all.
Thank you.
Yeah. We will see you all very soon. Catch you on the airwaves. And in the meantime, lots of love and light to all.
Ciao.